Brunswick Hills Township Board of Trustees, August 13, 2024 meeting to order. Noting that it's been properly advertised, it is 7 p.m. If everyone could please stand and join us with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And if everyone could please remain standing for a moment of silence for our first responders. Thank you. Okay, and I am not aware of any public presentations for tonight. The first order is approval of minutes. Those minutes are still in process, so we do not have any to approve tonight. So we can move on to department reports. We will start with zoning.
Yes, sorry for the,
Yeah, and yeah, this is Wes Humphrey, our Assistant Zoning Inspector.
yes.
Thank you, Wes.
There was one program in there, and it's listed there. There was 15 permits issued, and a total of 977.53 collected. And I was out on leave, but I did 4 inspections myself, and I don't know how many Evelyn did.
Okay.
But I know she did some.
Okay. Great, okay. That's it.
What else you want?
That's
Is that
good.
9?
No, that's good, thank you.
All right.
So is that 15
It shows 15, I think it's.
for a month? From July?
Actually, from July 10th,
From July 10th to August 13th?
correct. So
Okay.
be a hair,
Okay.
there's some in progress
Right.
also. There's 3 in progress.
Great, thank you. Okay, moving on to police, chief.
Huge crowd here tonight.
Just for you.
All right.
There's many people in it.
No,
Sure did you?
There's a lot. First, I'd like to thank Evelyn for 22 years of service as zoning inspector here in the township. She'll be greatly missed. I enjoyed working with her. Little update on some of our personnel. 1320, who we picked up from Brooklyn. He's just about done with his first phase of FTO. He's on his own, working out great and loving patrolling out here in the township. So he's doing real good. Really, we don't have to teach him any of the police work, just how we do it here in Medina County, how the court system is. And he is from Brunswick, went to school out here, so he knows the geographic area and stuff, so no problem there. 1325, he was Adrian Nagu, who came from Cleveland. He was here with us for a couple years. He retired. His official last day will be on the 18th. That he'll be off the books and retired and on his way to Florida. Couple updates this past week. I know a lot of people were affected by the tornadoes and storms throughout Northeast Ohio. Unfortunately, the police department got hit too. Our shingles on our garage were blown off, and we didn't notice it until like the day after that there was puddles of water and drywall all over the floor and on top of the cars from where they were parked. With that, we started, investigating and looking around because we were smelling some musty smells throughout the police station, and we found out that when the air conditioners in the main patrol office popped the line, and God knows how many days that was just draining water through the floor where you couldn't see it, and ended up in the bottom of our evidence room where the ceilings were also affected and fell down. So right now, we did do some measures to kind of clean it up. We have all the air scrubbers in there, insurance company, and fans going, but everything had to be compiled in the evidence room too, so it is pretty much a big mess at the station right now. But we're working on getting everything cleaned up and getting everything fixed. Been receiving a lot of calls over the past couple weeks. We have stepped up the parking enforcement with all the traffic that's kind of been detoured around now. Pretty much everything is open up through the township on 303 and Marks Road. But a lot of these cars were using the back side roads and We had a couple accidents in the developments, but the parking ban, and I know a lot of people get confused and they say it's not posted properly, but in every development that you go into, the Autumnwood, the Westbury, Salton, Kenton, all those streets, as soon as you enter those developments off of like 303 or substation, there's a sign and it'll say no parking, and it'll say when snow exceeds 2 inches. That so service can get out there. Obviously in the summer we don't have to worry about the snow, but then also for the times between 2 a.m. and 6 a.m. That was a resolution the trustees made back in 2009 before I was here. That's the law. We've kind of, during the summertime, a lot of people have family over, a lot of construction projects. All you have to do is just contact us, our 330-273-3722, the police station. Let us know why you need to park on the street, and we'll, try to make accommodations so you can park overnight. But a lot of those developments, the roads are so narrow, and a lot of cars that were parking on there, and the reason why they had to put the parking ban in there is people were parking on both sides of the road. So you can barely get a car in some of those developments now the way it is. So at night, if you can, just get the cars, pull them off, get them in, park them in the driveways. And I know a lot of people, their garages, their storage, and they have a lot of kids and everything, but we have to enforce it, and we have stepped it up. And if you do need an excuse to park out there, just contact us. Another thing is, always summertime, people have their windows open. It's a reoccurring event. Everybody has heard me talk up here for over years is about the shooting in the township. It is legal to shoot in Brunswick Hills Township. You're allowed to discharge weapons on your own property or permission of that owner to shoot. You do have to have a proper backstop. A proper backstop is not just a piece of plywood leaning up against the trees or something like that. Something that will, great depth, that you're going to stop these bullets or these rounds so that they're not leaving the property that you're shooting and hit someone else's house or seriously injure or harm somebody. We have been getting a lot of complaints because there's a lot of people that don't want to hear the shooting and throughout the township. And mainly it's in the southern part of the township where it's, in my book, is you could go out there and shoot and have adequate space, and we have checked on a lot of the people that have shooting ranges on their property, and they do have good backstops. Again, you are responsible if that round does leave, and we have in the past charged people for hitting a dwelling, and we don't want that to happen. So if you're out there, just practice, safe shooting, and make sure you know your target and what's beyond that. And with that is the use of 911. So a lot of people were calling 911 saying they're hearing shots fired and there's shooting going on. Again, 911, if you know somebody's life is being injured or, call 911, that's what it's for. It's for those severe emergencies. If there's something that your life is not an imminent threat at that time, or a building's on fire or something, call our non-emergency number, the 330-225-2081. Over the weekend, one of the callers was trying to get a hold of the trustees and was mad because he couldn't get a hold of the trustees, so we were calling 911 to get a hold of a trustee. So that is improper use of 911. If you need to get a hold of us, the non-emergency number, and if it is that important you need to get a hold of a trustee, our dispatch will get a hold of one of our officers and we'll get that call to, or that message to the person that needs it. I did have one request for the board tonight, and a couple. I did have our purchase order and blanket certificates that I sent over to Linda. I did get the appropriations updated this morning. So with that, I had to crunch some numbers. Tim Lally has one of their demo vehicles that's a full pursuit rated Chevy Silverado. These are the vehicles that we've been getting the demos from them. Instead of like the $64,000 that we're paying, they take off like $10,000 off of it. This one is fully equipped, ready to go. This would replace, we have two in the fleet that we just are replacing. Unit 8, and this one would replace Unit 10. Both of those cars have over 150,000 miles. Unit 10 is 2016 or 17. Hold on one second. Is a 2017. Again, these vehicles are fully outfitted. We don't have to pay any of the outfitting costs. All we do is take out the radios and other equipment, radar detectors and computers, and then have those reinstalled in these new vehicles. This was some reallocating of some of the funds. This year, I had $10,000 left over in the new car motor vehicle line item, and then the rest of our other line items for reallocation of funds to go ahead and make this purchase. The other two, and then this Unit 10, we'll put back on GovDeal recently. We just sold two of our old vehicles, the 2016 and a 2014, which we got close to $7,000, $6,000 for both of them, I believe. So both of those cars are auctioned off on GovDeals. We'll get 8 dismantled, and some of the emergency equipment that we can transfer into the new 8, and then this new vehicle will be new 10. So requesting the board to purchase order to Tim Lally Chevrolet for the purchase of the Silverado Pursuit that's outfitted for $54,935.
I will move to approve that purchase order to Tim Lally in the amount indicated.
And I will second that. And that amount was $54,935.50.
Right.
Chris,
Yes.
Trina,
Yes.
Ryan.
Yes.
Lastly, next week, school's starting, so again, same thing with the buses, traffic. Make sure you leave early. There's, new bus drivers, new routes. They have a tendency to clog up and miss their turns and back up things. Do not pass the buses when their stop sticks are out. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Chief mentioned the reallocation of those funds for that purchase. Do we need a resolution for that reallocation, or are we just moving the money?
You don't. Actually, I was told by Linda that when she took over as fiscal officer, she had a blanket resolution done that everybody signed off on, where she's allowed to do any kind of transfer of funds between, like, police, roads, whatever. So,
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, moving on to fire, Chief.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Start with the monthly summary from July. It was a busy month. We had 125 total calls, 96 EMS, 29 fire. As of the first of the month, we had a total of 600 EMS year-to-date, 170 fire calls year-to-date, total of 770, and that was the first of the month. Collected $17,396.27 in EMS billing for a year-to-date total of $201,316.82. During the month of July, we gave mutual aid 20 times, received mutual aid 3 times. Just a few notable incidents and events details. We did have a serious motorcycle accident at Grafton and Marks, in which the rider ended up being life-flighted. The crew from not only our department, but from Valley City and a passerby have been nominated to receive a special recognition due to their efforts. I'm confident that they saved that man's life that afternoon. We also responded to a industrial fire over in Hinckley on the 26th. We had posted some photos on Facebook of that. We were there pretty long time in the evening, I think about 4.5 hours. And then the township had some water pressure issues due to some breaks over in Valley City. And then obviously there was the issues on Center Road. And I'm going to take just a second to talk about the water mains. If you saw, actually across all Northeast Ohio, there were water main breaks that were pretty significant. And the reason being is we're in a drought right now. So normally the ground provides pressure on the pipes as the pipes have water. So there's an equal amount of pressure either way. As the ground dries out, if you notice by your driveways, it pulls away from your driveways or sidewalks. Same things happen to the pipes, so there isn't as much ground pressure on the pipes. the pipes then have a tendency to rupture. So if you're wondering why there seems to be more water breaks, it's because we're in a drought. So just a little for your knowledge. We did conduct 50 classes for 79 hours of training. Most of our members, I think we're down to 2 or 3 that need to complete the Auditor of State training. We did joint training with the City of Brunswick, reviewing drafting and tanker operations. Obviously, they don't have a tanker or draft, so we walked them through that. They also had some acquired structures where the new culverts is going to go, so we trained on those houses. Our crews did online training of firefighter rehab and hydration. 4 of us attended lithium-ion battery training, which was sponsored by the EMA. And this month, or in July, we did pediatric drug dosages training from Southwest General. So pretty busy month overall. On the request, first I'd like to request that firefighter Cody Winland be approved to attend pediatric trauma life support class at Southwest General on September 11th. This class is provided free of charge and provides the needed pediatric continuing education for his recertification.
Okay. I will move to approve that training for Cody. An emphasis on we are always pushing training and education for all the departments.
I will second.
Chris?
Yes.
Tricka?
Yes.
Ryan?
Yes.
Next were 2 repairs that I had advised the board of. The first was to 27-1 in the amount of $1,728.23, and that was paid from BC 56. During its annual preventive maintenance inspection, it was noted that a carrier bearing needed to be replaced. One of the seat belts had a cut or a fray in it, and it needed to be replaced, and the rear stabilizer bar bushing. And then on car 29, during its PM, it needed lower control arms on the front in the amount of $785.
Okay. I will move to approve both repairs in the amount of $1,728.23, and the second in the amount of $785.
I will second that request.
Chris?
Yes.
Tricka?
Yes.
Ryan?
Yes.
Next is a training request. I emailed the board late this afternoon. The Medina County All Hazards team is trying to get a confined space rescue course put together, but they need confirmation on the number of attendees in order to put on the class. The class is free. I would recommend that Nick DeSalvo, who's on the All Hazards team in the rope rescue area, which also includes confined space, attend. There's 3 class dates on 8/25, 9/15, 9/29, and then there'll be a 4-hour practical day. They don't know when that's going to be scheduled or where it will be at. And it, like I said, this class is paid for by the All Hazards team.
Again, I'll move to approve that training for Nick DeSalvo.
I'll second.
I'm sorry, Chris, did you second?
Yes.
Tricka?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
Ryan?
Yes.
Next, just a bunch of announcncements. First, just going to expound on what Chief Sopkovich said about 911 and proper use of it. Also remember that, this was an incident that came up this Sunday. If you need an ambulance, call 911. We had an individual who needed an ambulance, called the station phone, and it just so happens I was at home on my computer and got the voicemail that he needed an ambulance and had left a message on our phone. Called him back, got the ambulance to him. But if you need an ambulance, call 911. The station phone is not the, the guys were out on a call or out doing training. They're not going to get that message. Well, that wouldn't come in through till Monday, so we were lucky that I got that message. Next, our association is participating in the Tunnel to the Tower in Medina on September 8th. So far, they've raised $850. If you wish to donate, take a look at the Brunswick Hills Firefighters Facebook page. There is a link on there to make donations. Next, congratulations to firefighters Rodak and Kale. Both received full-time employment at other departments. Firefighter Rodak was already sworn in at the Sheffield Lake Fire Department, and firefighter Kale will be sworn in this Friday at the North Royalton Fire Department. So if you're keeping track, that's 3 of our part-timers in the past month that have gotten full-time jobs at other departments. So congratulations to them. As far as the storm response, I would like to thank Police Officer McHale and Matt from the Road Department for their work. I was out there with them, and we were moving trees and branches and making sure that the roads got opened as quickly as they could. Lastly, some good news for the township. We finally received the results of our ISO visit, and I'll read this little announcement which gives everybody a little bit more information on what it is. So we're proud to announce to the community that after our most recent evaluation from ISO, which stands for Insurance Services Office, our public protection classification, also known as the PPC, has been raised to a Class 3/3Y for our structural fire suppression delivery system. ISO is the leading supplier of data and analytics to the property and casualty insurance industry. Most insurance companies and underwriters use the PPC rating to calculate your annual premiums for residential, commercial, and industrial properties. So those communities who get a lower rating, you may see a lower rate in your insurance. So the PPC is based on a comprehensive evaluation of multiple aspects of the fire department. Some of those factors that influence your classification include dispatch, fire apparatus and equipment, personnel and training, operational considerations, water supply, fire prevention and code enforcement, public fire safety education, and fire investigation. The PPC rating is from a Class 1 to a Class 10. Class 1 indicates the department has gained between 90 and 100 points. A Class 10 would be from 0 to 9.99 points. The Brunswick Hills Fire Department obtained a score of 77.78 during this evaluation. Our previous score, which was in 2019, was a 70.05. The increase of 7.73 points equates to an 11% improvement. The recent improvement is attributed mainly to the hard work of our firefighters and officers and could not be done without the support of the community. Just to let you know what the split classification, the 3-3Y, means. So it's because that we have areas that are serviced by a water system. That's the first number, the 3. Those residents need to be within 1,000 feet of a fire hydrant. The second number in our classification are for those that are outside of 1,000 feet. And the Y is designated as a special classification that recognizes a superior level of fire protection in an otherwise lower rated area with no water supply. Of the 1,692 evaluations that were conducted in the state of Ohio, there are only 361 communities with an evaluation of Class 3 or greater. And of those, only 241 communities have the Class 3 score. So this is a major accomplishment, once again, for our department. When I came in, we were a Class 5, and we've worked now down to a Class 3/3Y. So thank you to the board for being supportive of our initiatives. Thank you for the community for your, obviously, tax dollars. And most importantly, thank you to our personnel that made that all happen. That's all I have.
Great job.
Thanks, Chief.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to our service department. Corey?
First thing, I have a monthly report for July. We had 700.5 hours on roads, 20 hours cemetery, 10 hours general, 7 hours fire, and 18 hours police, for a total of 755.5 hours for the month. Just some of the work that was completed was sign survey, cold patch roads, check ditches before, during, after storms, run trucks down highway for DEF system. Second round of roadside mowing has started, which has to be completed by August 28th. Trim and spray all guardrails 2 times. All township properties were mowed every week. We cut a lot of trees on Substation, Oakhurst, and Cabernet. Crossroads started repairing Helen Orchard for base repair, and then they actually just completed all the paving for the year on Helen Orchard, Denton Circle, Overton, and Markwood. We completed some catch basin repair on Oakhurst and Ruby. We attended storm management class at University of Akron, Medina campus, and then we attended the safety council meeting down in Medina. The second thing I have is a request to purchase a new piece of equipment. It's a pickup broom from Murphy John Deere. I received 3 quotes from Southeastern, Murphy, and Burns Industrial Equipment. Murphy came in at the cheapest out of the 3. This is an attachment that can be attached to the front of our new wheel loader. This will help eliminate debris that's on the roads. This will be used when we mainly cut down berm and then re-berm. All the stuff that you cut down goes on the road, and then what we did in the past was had a guy walking between trucks with a backpack blower. This will just eliminate that person on the road. Basically, we've had calls and complaints about debris on the roads where we just take backpack blowers and go and blow it off. Well, now we can actually pick it up with this new attachment. So I request a PO made to Murphy John Deere out of purchase services for a total of $10,996.40.
I'll move to approve.
And I will second that.
And issue purchase order.
Trigger,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Ryan?
Yes.
I did look at the warranty. It's 1 year, no questions asked if anything breaks, so. Other than that, that's it.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to trustee reports. Ryan, do you have anything
I
tonight?
have nothing today.
I have nothing.
Okay, I have 2 things. I just want to make an announcement that the Comprehensive Land Use Plan Committee met last night for a workshop and had a bus tour to go around the township and see large plots of land, just see what's out there, what's in the township, so that they can use that when doing the comprehensive plan. And I really want to thank Linda Hudson and Anthony Strazo, who worked as our tour guide for the bus, and it was a really good event, so thank you both. And also want to announce that the comprehensive land use plan, there is a survey, and the survey, we request that all surveys be completed before Monday. So if anyone has not completed a survey, please check out, there's some postings on the Facebook page for that, so please go ahead and fill out that survey. And my second thing is I wanted to bring up the Republic Services Agreement for our rubbish collection. And I know you both were on the emails today, that I contacted Republic to exercise a renewal option, and they came back with new prices, which is not allowed per our current contract. Our 5-year contract ends March of next year, the end of March. So it looks like we will need to rebid this if the board so chooses.
I would agree with rebid.
Okay. Okay, so what we will need to do is, the prosecutor's office can help us with that. And what we need to do is start looking at the previous bid package to determine if there's any changes that the township wants. So I guess I should make a motion to start the process to send out, rebid the rubbish contract. I think that's the name of it.
And I will second that.
Did you make the?
I made the motion, yes.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Chris,
Yes.
Trigger,
Yes,
Ryan?
Yes.
that's all that I had. Okay, moving on to fiscal officer's report.
Obviously, Linda is not here tonight, so I kind of snuck in here to do her job.
Thank
She
you.
had a conflict for tonight. Payroll for next Tuesday, August 20th, is in the amount of $81,278.31. That also includes some checks that were issued to the firefighters, some of the firefighters, for grant money that they received in the amount of $15,225. So that is part of the payroll, but in a check form. And then the warrants dated today for tonight is $6,026.73. We have a purchase order and a blanket certificate. The purchase order is for the general fund for $1,000 for travel and meeting expenses. And that was to cover the bus tour for the comprehensive plan. And the blanket certificate is for the general fund in the amount of $20,000, which should take us through the end of the year, and that's for medical and hospitalization expenses. And I believe that's all I have. There is a resolution here, but,
We should probably pass that first.
okay.
I think, because that's for the budget amendment approval. This is for the Ohio Ambulance Transport Grant received in the amount of $15,225 for the fire department. So I will offer Resolution 29, 2024, the 2024 Budget Amendment Approval, Ohio Ambulance Transport Grant.
And I will second that.
Chris?
Yes.
Tricia?
Yes,
Ryan?
Yes.
I have that grant.
And there is another resolution too, that I have listed here.
No, that was
Nope.
already done.
That one, okay.
Yep.
All right,
This
got
is the
it.
official.
That's the official.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Okay.
I'll move to approve the payment listing post dated August 13th in the amount of $6,026.73.
I will second.
Ryan?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
Tricia?
Yes.
And then I'll move to approve payroll dated 8/20, the amount of $81,278.34.
I'll second.
Tricia?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
Ryan?
Yes.
And then the purchase orders and blanket certificates, I will move to approve both of those as read by the fiscal officer assistant.
I'll second.
Ryan?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
Tricia?
Yes. That's it. You're welcome. Okay, is there any unfinished business for tonight?
No, as we
Okay.
discussed, we're waiting on
Right.
other items to come through.
Right.
So yes, no.
Okay. Okay, and for new business, we have an annexation petition. There was a petition for regular annexation for 22.0536 acres. And this is behind Hoffman Tree Service. So it's landlocked between there. And this has been submitted to the board, the Medina County Board of Commissioners, who will be hearing this on Tuesday, August 27th, 2024 at 11 a.m. And I know that I have contacted the prosecutor's office, but they are not able to represent us for this due to a conflict. So I don't want to know how the board wants to proceed.
I personally don't know what we can do for this in such a short time, but I think we ought to look into the idea of retaining outside counsel when future items like this pop up.
I agree. I agree.
For annexation purposes only.
For
correct?
annexation purposes only.
Yeah, I don't know if we can, this is in a couple weeks, 2 weeks, so
Right.
I'm not sure. And you've had a lot of experience, or some more experience than we have with annexations.
Yeah, well, in the past, the prosecutor's office did represent us, but they're not able to anymore. I think for this particular one of us needs to show up at the commissioner's hearing, along with maybe some residents.
Have you attended those in the past?
I have,
Okay,
a long time ago.
okay. And just, the person attending would just express their, concern with this? Okay. Yeah, because I don't know that there's a whole lot that can be done.
No, but we can be on the record.
Okay.
Tell me that date again.
Tuesday, August 27th at 11 a.m.
Now, the other thought is, hold on, give me a second. What did you say, the 27th?
Yes.
Okay. If we can quickly get together a couple of attorneys to represent us, or willing to represent us, we could have a special meeting
Okay.
Before that,
Okay.
and have, a legal representative there
Right.
for the township. So that's the other thought.
Just have to find attorneys. I know that Hinckley I don't know who they used for their recent, so maybe that's an option.
Reach out to them. You want me to?
Can you do that?
Sure.
Okay. I don't know who the attorney is.
Well, there's a few.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll do that. And
I
then-
will work on that.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Any other new business?
The only other thing that I have is, we'll have to do a quick executive session for a workers' comp matter. It should not take long, it should be very quick.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. Then is there any miscellaneous and correspondence? Okay. The announcement of upcoming meetings. August 19th, which is next Monday, will be the Comprehensive Land Use Plan Community Steering Committee. That meeting's at 6:30 p.m. The next trustee meeting is August 27th at 7 p.m. The Board of Zoning Appeals will meet September 4th at 7 p.m. And the Zoning Commission will meet September 5th at 7 p.m. And all those meetings are here at Town Hall. Is there any public input? Please come to the podium and state your name and address for the record.
Yeah, but when the first guy gets up, everybody has better aim.
I got you.
Do we want, I see there's going to be a lot of public comment. Do we want to set a time limit?
No?
Okay.
I sure didn't think I was gonna be talking yet.
Let's see how it goes.
We'll see how it goes.
Okay.
Okay, folks, my name's David Goodyear, 691 Pearl Road. I hope everybody can hear me,
Yes.
even without the mic, I'm sure you'd say that. I came upon some paperwork in the last couple days that I have a problem with. We're dealing here with a code enforcement officer. And it seems that, I'm reading this over, I have several questions for the trustees. it has the, if I understand it right, and please correct me if I'm wrong, it has the fire department taking over the zoning. Now, this just doesn't seem right. Some of you know I've been a fireman for a while, and I always figured the fire department, both when it was volunteer, when we were full-time, they had enough to do, saving lives, putting out fires. And I might point out at this moment, seeing the fire chief did not mention it. Did you see the article in today's Gazette about our guys? They did a great job. They've got some kind of an award again from one of the life-saving outfits, and I'm sorry, Tony, I don't remember what outfit it was. Pardon?
The Mission Lifeline Award. We actually announced it at the previous meeting. The Gazette was just catching up.
For heart attack care.
So I've been sleeping. Yes. Yeah, that's the reason I've been pushing for a second fire station down in the southeast corner of town. At least on the south end of town, so we can get to you guys. Wherever you live, Ryan, and anybody, we can get there faster. Now then, back to this original deal. I've read through this on a classification title for a fire code enforcement division, be under the fire chief and a few other people that are mentioned here, or not people, excuse me, positions. And one thing I wonder about here, excuse me, what or who is a township assistant administrator? Are we thinking of having a township administrator and add another level to our government? This is the reason, part of the reason that in '60 we seceded from the village of Brunswick. We don't need a position like this. Maybe if we had 25,000 people in our township, maybe I could see it. But in one of these other papers, it also mentions a township administrator and their assistant. I know I'm pretty thick, and I'm sure not the smartest person in this world, but I'm trying to look out for others somewhat. And I just don't see even the need for this kind of talk of a township administrator, an assistant township administrator. But we go back to this code enforcement officer who, by the qualifications that they need and the authority they're going to have to run a fire scene before the chief or the assistant chief get there, why the heck would they be willing to take $20,000 less a year than a fireman? Now, I really shouldn't be standing up here knowing, if any of you know, or I'm sorry, many of you know, some of you know, my background. And this doing away with the zoning office, or however whatever you want to call it, the zoning inspector is totally out of line. The fire department has fire codes to enforce. And that is definite. I've seen tragedies where the fire codes weren't kept up. And thank God that our township watches that. But when it comes to putting in swimming pools or worrying about the neighbor's chickens being loose or what other things you want in zoning, that's not for a fireman to go out to do. The two chiefs have been up here telling you about 911. I can hear it now. Dial 911. The neighbor's cow is in my yard. Well, I suppose today, all you'd really do is call Goodyear and tell them to get him back home. I don't know how many more cows there are in town, but I don't know where this stands in your plans, if it is. But I haven't heard anything about this stuff. I hadn't until I got this paper the other day. I read through the Gazette every day that they printed, because I don't do that online nonsense. So, and I know it's a sign of getting old. Well, I'll be in my 50s next week. But I believe I've covered everything here that I wrote down. And I'm sure, Ryan, you've never heard me up here, so you know I should shut up pretty soon. To poor ladies, they know I should have shut up 10 minutes ago. But with that annexation, totally different subject, if I may. How are they going to get water to this new annexation part that you were kind enough to bring up? It's behind Huffman's place, and if they want to annex that piece, Kimmick Drive and Woodward is still in the township, isn't it? Yeah. I would be thinking about that. Maybe they're going to run a water line. I'm just sure they're annexing it to put houses in. I don't know that, but whatever the reason, would they? And I don't know, are they gonna run a pipeline through the ice cream stand? And I'd like to speak to one of you three after the meeting for a second, reference this kind of stuff. I don't want to say anything on TV because everybody hears it, and I may be so far out in left field that I don't want everybody to know I'm an idiot. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Any other public input?
Well, mine kind of goes along with his.
No, please. They're gonna put a timer on me.
So, I don't, the other trustees,
I'm sorry,
Josephine Jones, I own a business, Mr. Pools, 607 Marks Road. So, I had a lot of problems with the zoning. I believe you received my letter, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And I've talked with Tricka many times about about this, what had happened. And I just want to say that I disagree with Evelyn being forced to retire. Evelyn has been, I've worked with Evelyn a lot over the years since we bought our property in 2015. And I just know that she felt like she was pushed out. And I disagree with that wholeheartedly. I believe she made a mistake. I believe it was an honest mistake. But the reason I'm here today, thank you for thank you for approving my plans finally. And also, I received a phone call, a very strange phone call, right before I went on vacation from somebody, I believe his name was Matt Payne, from the fire department, asking me to come to a zoning meeting, and then basically complaining about one of my neighbors and telling me information that basically wasn't true. So he was telling me that this person that lives on Cheney Road, Marks and Cheney on the corner there, he does welding. And apparently, according to this firefighter, he was telling me that because I do everything right and this guy doesn't, that I should come to the meeting. And that it was a fire hazard to have him doing welding there. It's too close to my business, and my business could catch on fire. So I'm thinking to myself, wow, this is horrible. I better go see where Cheney is located to my property. And it's probably a good 4-minute drive down the road. It's not like I'm adjacent to it. It's not like it's behind me. So I didn't understand where all that was coming from. Like, why would he call me and ask me to come to this zoning meeting and basically try to get me to complain about this neighbor? And I just didn't understand it until I read this code enforcement thing, and then it makes sense about why the fire department was even trying to get involved with zoning at all. So if they're planning on taking over zoning, I just would like to go on the record and say that I totally disagree with that. I did follow up with Medina County commissioners and asked them, I said, is this a thing in Medina County? Is there any other township that has done this? And she said no. She said it's highly, highly unusual. It's the first she heard of it. So I don't know what your position is on this code enforcement. I just think it is too much power for one entity to have. And I have no idea what this Matt Payne's interest was against this guy that owned the Cheney property, but it was just highly unusual for anybody from zoning to contact you in that way. And I don't know if is he part of zoning now, this Matt Payne?
He's put in an application.
Okay, so this is a position you all have approved?
Yes,
And at what meeting did we approve this?
Thursday.
The meeting I missed because I was on vacation. Oh, okay. In the middle of the day when nobody could come?
It was, well, first of all, yes, not only was it also advertised as well, but we were also in a tight position having to deal with the 36-hour retirement notice from Evelyn.
She said she got locked out. Is that true?
Yes, that is true.
I'm confused.
We received an email from Evelyn on Tuesday saying that she'll be retiring on Thursday.
Okay.
She was not in the following day. As I oversee also the IT department, and I've had experience with this in my job number 1, I made the recommendation and decision to freeze the passwords on the computer.
Okay.
Also, it was discussed to have the locks changed out to safeguard anything that might be in that office, physical and/or digital, on those computers.
Okay.
And I know you're going to say that she's not that type of person, and she may not be. And you know, she's a great woman. In my job number 1, I have seen it happen, and it was my decision, our decision, I should say, to safeguard the property that was inside that office on her last day of employment.
So, okay, so just so I understand, this Matt Payne, who was contacting me, who obviously had an issue with the person that lives on Cheney Road that's doing welding. Should that be a position that he should take? Like, is he already has a negative position against this person? I don't understand.
I think I need to know.
How would he act as code enforcement?
I think we need to know more about what transpired that particular call, so we can properly address it.
Okay.
And answer truthfully to you. Because this is, as you're saying it now, this is news to me. This is news to us.
Well, it happened right before I went on vacation, so I left to go on vacation. I talked
Yeah.
to my husband, I said, do you want to go to the meeting? And he was like, I don't want an enemy with my neighbors. I don't
Yeah. Oh,
have a
absolutely.
problem with him doing his welding. You know, if I say it's okay, then it's okay.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we run a business, so we wouldn't want other people to say, oh, don't do that, you know, or don't do this. So we didn't want to get involved in that.
Right.
But I just thought it was highly, highly unusual. And then I find out about this code enforcement thing, which I feel like is just kind of blindsided. I mean, because Tricka at any point could have told me that this was something that was on your calendar in our multiple conversations about the zoning department. And she didn't.
Yeah, I don't think it was at that time, when you were going through the zoning commission.
So how quickly did you put this in the newspaper and then now we're here, and then now you already have the position to be filled? Like, how much time did you give the public to respond?
I don't know, what date did we put that into the, I don't recall the date exactly. Ish, I would say.
Yeah, I don't.
You said it was in the
Truthfully, yeah.
You said it was in the newspaper, so I'm assuming you have a publication date.
Yes. I truthfully, I just don't have it off the top of my head.
Okay.
May I ask
and we could look it up.
May I ask what was in the newspaper?
He said that he posted that you were doing this code enforcement.
No, there was a public meeting that was
A
posted.
press release?
Nope, no press
public-
release.
Public meeting notice.
The public meeting notice.
Public meeting notice,
For
okay.
when we were all here on Thursday.
Okay.
So basically you approved it on Thursday? You put it out there Thursday and then it was approved Thursday? I'm confused. Like, how much time frame was it between when you said you posted it to now you're receiving applications? I'm sorry?
This is not a court.
I'm just asking. I think I'm allowed to ask after all the problems that I had with the zoning.
I'm curious for the same question.
Me too. All right.
Or maybe they should pay more attention.
You know, by law, we have to state 24-hour notice to get something out there in the paper. But again, I truthfully don't remember when we put it in. It was probably a couple days before that when we announced to the newspapers and the outlets that we were having a special meeting.
And how is exactly this legal? Can I just ask that? Like, is this part of home rule? Because I don't is it
Tell me, which
just
part are you asking about the legality?
changing the whole dynamics of the zoning department? I mean, because basically you're going against all of the other townships in Medina, according to the Medina County Commissioner, so.
This is true, but not all of the townships in the state of Ohio.
Cincinnati.
There are other places.
Cincinnati.
There's
All right, if we
Chief
cannot,
Hamilton.
call out from the audience, please.
I'm just asking, and I just want to go on the record that I'm against it. I don't think it's a good idea at all.
And your other comments, we will be looking into that as well.
Okay, all right. Thank you. I'll just-
Thank you.
I'll make mine quick. Hi, I'm Tony Destro, 301 Marks Road. I have a welding shop. And to answer your question, Matt Payne is...
Wait, Cody, what is your answer?
Oh, Tony, 301 Marks Road.
Tony.
To answer your question, Matt Payne is sitting in the back there, second man from the... Is that right? But for the issue, she asked maybe why the fire department is going door to door. And this wasn't the first time Matt went door to door or called anybody. He also stopped at my neighbor's house behind me and told them that the fire department was against me getting any variances because I am dangerous to the community, because maybe my welding shop might explode, I'm not sure. And then the fire chief also, he stopped at my other neighbor's house. I'll let them tell you about the conversations, but I get along with all my neighbors. And the reason I've had some problems with the fire department, obviously, since January. I've also been talking with and emailing the fire department, Tricka, Ryan, Christina, and no one's ever mentioned to me either that this position might become available, but this is just an assumption on my part. I think this has probably been in the works for a while because in January, whenever the fire department came out, Matt Payne, he was very concerned about a lot of zoning issues. And he said, well, this is, he said the fire, because I'm like, that has to do with zoning. Let's deal with fire department stuff, me and you, and then I'll deal with zoning for the zoning issues. And they've told me, Matt and Anthony, numerous times that zoning and fire go together. So I'm assuming that this has been in works for a while, but that's just my opinion. I got no evidence on that.
I would agree. I think it's been in the works too.
But yeah, it's not the first time, and the trustees, some of them I think do know that Matt and Anthony both have been going to my neighbors or the people around me and talking about zoning things because we spoke not last week but the week before, and one of my neighbors came up here and told everybody. Oh, there was a zoning committee, but Ryan was here for that, and Tricka was here for that also, so they heard it. But that's all I have to say about that for now. If anyone has any questions about my issues with the fire department and would like to speak with me, number is 216-526-2738, and I'm free to share my experience. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Christina.
My name's Robin Gillespie. I live at 4980 Grafton Road, Brunswick, Ohio. I was writing as you guys were reading your reports real fast. I hope I got the numbers right. The zoning did 15 permits and 119 inspections, and 3 are in progress. The firemen's had 125 calls in a month, 97 EMSs, and 29 fires. I've worked 7 days a week, 60-hour days, and after that, I'm done. How can somebody do 2 jobs at one time? It's impossible. It's humanly impossible. One will falter, and I hope the fire department, the fire part of it, don't falter. And as far as people talking about houses blowing up, across the street from me, probably 4 years ago, the whole house blew up. And they said the people said it was electricianed, but there was all kinds of caps laying on the floor because he was making fireworks. And he blew it up his garage. So therefore, people worried about houses blowing up, you don't know what your neighbors are doing, And to probably make everybody's day even worse, is it true that you guys bought a piece of property on Substation Road?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And what are you using it for?
The plan is to eventually build a new administration building.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is many, many years in the making.
That's why they're tearing Substation up now with the pipes and everything?
No.
Completely different.
Okay.
That's something totally different.
And so it's something 10 years down the road, 3 years down the road?
Well, our first priority is to get out of this particular building for administrative purposes. We need a new building.
Yeah.
Right now, that's what we're focused on.
And how much did the land cost?
Ryan, you have those numbers.
In totality, it was 1.545 million.
What's totality mean?
But, go ahead.
But in totality, meaning there was a portion of that money, approximately 1,050,000, that came from ARPA funds, and the rest came from the Brunswick Township General Fund.
Okay, and how is that gonna have a factor on our taxes? I already got a hike for the middle school, and I expect next year I'll get a hike from the high school. And how is this gonna affect my taxes?
As it stands right now,
It's not.
nothing.
As it stands, but then when you start building,
When we start building, there are some things that we've been talking about, meeting with other folks, including Representative Max Miller, talking with him about getting on the grant schedule program for 2026. That will play a very large portion into what we're looking to do. When and if we have to go to the taxpayers for any monies to complete a project, it will be at an extremely low dollar figure.
and will it be voted on, or will it just be,
It's your money. We're putting this to the vote. Absolutely. I can't, we as the board can't authorize that, so it'll be put on a ballot for everybody to look at.
there's some things you do, just the way it is.
Thank you. Is there any other public comment?
You want to put a timer on me?
30
Sure.
seconds, Thomas.
All right. First of all,
Name?
yes, my name is Thomas DeCastro, 358 Topaz Lane. I do live in Brunswick Hills, but the way you guys are going, that probably will not be in my future. So first of all, I am a member of the Zoning Commission. And as a zoning member, commission member, I'm very disheartened in your guys' actions. We have seen, obviously, that there have been issues with the zoning inspector's office. We've addressed some of those, and more importantly, we had a public meeting where both the BZA and the zoning commission came together to voice concerns to you guys, and ultimately actually voice ideas for improvement and for change to make this community better. And this already pre-approved activity has been completely against anything that your zoning commission, your BZA did. So for the record and everybody's understanding, this application process for this new position is, from my understanding, to close on August 16th. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right. Then my understanding is that you have only limited currently applications to this position to the fire department. Is that correct?
It was offered internally.
That is not correct.
It was offered internally only. We have
That
not
is-
posted this position?
The position is posted to all current township employees, including members of the BZA, zoning commission, the police department, service department, zoning department. If you work for the township, you can apply for it.
So you're already doing our community a disservice by not publicly posting this and looking for the best candidate that is publicly available within our community to fulfill all of the roles and responsibilities that this position would have. Instead, we're limiting the pool to a very small subset of individuals, which we then have no opportunity. If you choose to take an internal candidate, there's no public opportunity for anybody else that may be higher qualified, better positioned to serve our community in the best way possible. But if we want to talk about what the position is going to do, the position at the end of the day is going to bring our community backwards. It's not going to bring our community forward. You've already talked about an issue today of an annexation issue. You can look at our zoning map and realize that probably within the next 25 years, half of it will be annexed because, well, frankly, they can't get water. Now, that's a 1977 journal entry, way before my time. I have to go get the public records to become very educated on that. But what we have seen since then, in almost 50 years, is a lack of planning, a lack of future thought, and a lack of understanding. In just 2010 to 2020, our population grew by 11%. So growth is coming. We're not going to be able to stop it. And enforcing silly zoning issues is not going to stop any type of growth that you don't want to see. A $500 fine per day is pittance to a lot of people nowadays. We've had the issue what we saw of a multi-million-dollar home up over Airbnb. They were probably making 4 times that per night. $500 is worth nothing to them. If you want to talk about where you see the planning issues run afoul. We've seen an issue where maybe we've had an issue where we had a development built and those properties became private roads. And now that community is older, they can't maintain it, they can't afford it, but something happened way back when that was actually approved. We should have a zoning department that is out looking for our future community members and our current community members that understand how developers work, that understand how developers cheat, that understand how developers are doing everything to maximize their pocket. Combining that with a fire prevention officer doesn't give them the opportunity to go out and mingle with the community, mingle with those builders, with those developers, to get to really know them, to help protect our future community and our future residents that will be coming. You can't stop it. It will be coming. You either have them in the township or they're going to the city. It's really going to be your guys' choice for that future. Now, I will also state that, again, as has been stated, no other township within the county does this. Did you guys even call the other townships and go, have you guys thought about this? No. Instead, you look at a township in Hamilton County, outside of Cincinnati, that is 4 times the population of our township, and go, that's the model we want to go with. That's not the correct way to look at it. You got to look at the community around you and the community that will be developing around you, not some on the other side, literally other side of the state, as far as you can drive on the state to get your input on, this is how we should go forward. Again, that township is 4 times our size. Yes, they have a township administrator. Why? They're 4 times our size. And then if you actually read through their zoning resolutions, their county administrator is their zoning department through a development service department that they have in order to grow their businesses, because they are surrounded by cities and other urban areas, and if they don't grow internally, they too will be annexed. So you have to begin to think forward. And combining 2 positions like this doesn't think forward, it thinks backwards. So what we could see in the future, if you really, really wanted to, you could let's look at Lafayette Township, right here in our county. They post all of these numbers that we heard today on their website. I've never seen zoning inspector reports on our website, fire reports on our website, your guys' reports on our website. That's already a future thought that, holy crap, we're not doing. We're living in the 18th century, not even close to the 21st century. You can drive around our community and go, where could we have done better? An issue, I drive down to this town hall and I've already seen 4, 5 houses with solar panels on it. If we came together with a right individual who was future planning and thinking, could bring our community together, we could all then focus on getting lower cost solar panels, lower cost community activities, because we could come together as a community. So my final thought is, think about the future and not where you want to go backwards to appease maybe only certain individuals. Let's think about our community going forward, and let's focus on what inevitably will happen. Your rural areas will disappear. Growth is coming. Growth will be here. That's how the world is going to operate. You have to think about the future, and we need to not do this position and dedicate our resources to planning for the future. Thank you.
Thank you.
If I may just respond to Mr. DeCastro, I want to make it clear that when this meeting was held on last Thursday, I did not support the creation of this position. I did express my feelings and opinions on this well before the vote, several times actually, before Thursday's meeting. I did not think that this was right for our township. I mean, I've lived here almost 25 years. I've been a trustee almost 20 years. You know, Evelyn and I, of course, had our differences, but we worked through them. And I also expressed that if there was issues with that department, those issues need to be fixed within the department. Creating something that nobody really knows anything about is not the way this township, our township, where we live. That's not the direction that I was comfortable with. So just so you know, I did not vote to approve this, and I'm just as baffled as Mr. DeCastro is.
Linda Hudson, 314 Pearl Road. And of course, how do I follow up with all of that? You can shut me off at any time as well. Several weeks ago, I was invited to sit on the steering committee for the comprehensive plan to help update the Brunswick Hills zoning resolution. I've been a resident and a business owner here in the community all of my life. As a past trustee for years, 8 years, I sat on the comprehensive plan committee with Chris Kusnerak. I had deep concerns. I take my responsibility very seriously when it comes to the comprehensive plan, because what we do now will impact the future of Brunswick Hills Township. I want to make it very clear that there's no disrespect towards any township personnel in this matter. My concerns are not directed at any one individual. I have a profound respect for the people that hold these positions. We had a wonderful bus ride yesterday. We toured the community. I had hoped that more people would have went with us so that they could become familiar with the area. A lot of people are new. They don't understand where we came from, how we got here. And of course, the old saying goes, if we don't know where we've been, we don't know where we're at, where are we going to be when we get there? Okay, as a resident, I'm here tonight to voice concerns about what we have heard about the proposed changes to the Township Zoning Office and the decision to abolish the position of the Township Zoning Inspector. To make sure that I was up to date on current zoning regulations and changes that have occurred over the years, I recently attended Township Zoning Commission meetings, Board of Appeals meetings, and county planning and training meetings. I want to make sure that I understand. This board has hired a professional planner to help the steering committee update the comprehensive plan. You have asked the zoning commission to begin the long and tedious process of updating the zoning resolution. It's a very difficult and long process. It may take as long as a year. We understand that we have a vacant position. Something has to be filled, maybe by a temporary position. During my time in attendance at these meetings, I have made several observations that raise deep concerns about the direction the board is taking regarding how they fill the vacant zoning position. It's my understanding that the Board of Trustees will be abolishing the position of zoning inspector, giving the authority to oversee the zoning office to the fire department by creating 2 new positions within the fire department. Our Board of Appeals and our zoning commission, I spoke with several of the members. They didn't even know that this was in the works. Now, if there is such a lack of communication between each of the department heads, and of course, I don't want to put anybody on the spot. Corey, did you hear about this? I don't think that anyone in this room can say that they were in full knowledge of this happening. For the code enforcement officer, the required qualifications set forth in the job description states that a person is to have 5 years of fire experience. For the assistant code enforcement officer, it only requires that the person have zoning experience and a high school diploma. Nowhere does the job description refer to the qualifications that a zoning people should have. These job descriptions are more focused on enforcement of violations. If there's a problem with enforcement in a situation, please remember that in the state of Ohio, the position known as zoning inspector is also known as township zoning enforcement officer. He or she enforces the zoning regulations and requirements on behalf of the township and acts under the authority of the Board of Trustees. It's a standard throughout the state of Ohio that zoning inspectors must be familiar and have a working knowledge of both commercial and residential construction. They must understand current zoning and building practices to be able to properly interpret a zoning resolution that has been created by a zoning commission in their township. The person that is hired for the position of zoning inspector may work in both an office setting, outdoors, and often doing site plan reviews and numerous visits to the applicant's properties. In addition, the applicant should be required to have working knowledge of a plat planning, civil engineering, land surveying, comprehensive planning, building codes, and site plan review process. Why would we expect any one of our fire personnel to take on that responsibility? The fire violation should be dealt with by the fire department. The zoning violation should be dealt with by the zoning inspector's office. Police matters should be handled by the police department, and the road or maintenance problems by the head of the maintenance department. This is why we hire department heads. Our zoning inspector can and should consult with these departments, the road department, the police department, or any other county planting offices that are needed if their expertise is needed. Our zoning office should act independently from other township departments. The zoning commission creates the rules and regulations that are put in place by and through the zoning resolution. You've given them that task. That is what you have done. Recently, you have asked the zoning commission to update your zoning resolution. You do not want it to be in conflict with what your department heads are doing. I've spoken with the members of the zoning commission. I spoke to the people on the Board of Appeals. No one was aware. No one was aware. The zoning office should never be overseen or ran by any other department. As a resident and a past trustee, for years I've been told that the community has grown so much that the fire department is so busy that we need to hire more full-time fire employees. I've accepted this information, and as a fact, I have supported the fire levies that have been put on the ballot. Now, we're being told that the fire department has enough time to take on the responsibilities of an overburdened zoning office? Doesn't the fire department have enough to do without trying to take on the duties of an outdated, overly burdened zoning office? Since when do our fire personnel have enough time to perform their own duties as well as the duties of the zoning office? We're really going to send fire personnel to train them as zoning personnel at the expense of the taxpayer. When I need a firefighter, I call the fire department. When I need a police officer, I call the police. When I need a road department personnel, I'm going to call the maintenance garage. Trusting and knowing that these people in these positions are knowledgeable in their field and will have the right answers to assist with the problem at hand. If I have zoning issues, I should be able to walk into my zoning office and talk to a knowledgeable person that is familiar with the building practices, civil engineering, planning and zoning, so that the decisions that are made regarding my property are done in a helpful manner, with a clear understanding of what is needed and required by our zoning and by our zoning resolution. I urge you to reconsider your action. Do not eliminate the position of the zoning inspector. You should be advertising to fill the vacant position with a full-time, professionally qualified person to bring the zoning office up to date, to correct the problems that we've had for years. Please do not put a Band-Aid on the problem. It has existed for quite some time. Do not set your department personnel up for failure. Now is the time to update and correct the problems with the zoning office. I have a copy of the least amount of standards and duties of a zoning inspector that should be advertised if anyone would like to have a copy of it. Thank you for your time and patience, but please, again, I urge you to reconsider your decision so that we can, as Thomas said, move into the future. It won't be long before there will be no township. The annexation process, we can go, Chris, you and I have been there before, we can yell, we can complain, but it probably will do us no good. We can hire an attorney to fight. Wouldn't it have been nice if we had a zoning office where that developer could have discussed his future plans with us, and just maybe we could have been able to say, hey, Mr. Developer, is there a way that we can work with you to keep your property in the townships? Hinckley is a good example right now. They are losing land by leaps and bounds. We are going to be faced very quickly with the situation that we may not have enough land to retain and be a township. Conversation must be had at some point. Don't know if we're ready for it, but here it comes. If we are faced with that, do we want to be a city or there is a legal option in which we can be a township by merging with one of the adjoining townships. Call it Hinkley Hills, call it Betty Hill, call it Medina, whatever you want. Don't care, they may not want us. But at the same time, I want to live and work under the township laws. It is the oldest form of government that we have here in the state. It predates the state government. Please do not give our township away with a technicality as such as this. When I found out about it, it appalled me because it is only putting a Band-Aid on the problem that we've had for a long time. Chris, thank you for supporting us. We appreciate your efforts. Tricka, I know that it's a difficult position. Brian, you're new. We've faced this for many years. Don't let it go awry. Please help us move into the future. Thank you.
Thank you.
Linda,
Yes,
may I have a copy of what,
absolutely.
Hey, Linda, can I have a copy?
For the record, if you have, Madam Clerk, put that into the record, that would be most helpful. Okay, I'm sorry.
Want me to make copies?
is there one?
We got it all. Yes, this one.
Well, how many pages?
Probably too many. How many you got?
2.
4. Okay, doesn't say all that.
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Want me to make copies now?
When we're done.
Yes, if you can please state your name and address for the record.
My name's Kimberly Bublick. I'm at 501 Topaz Lane. And before I begin, I prepared a statement so I'd stay on track and hopefully I can get through it. But first things, I wanted to ask 2 things. First of all, I think it's very important that those of you sitting here before us in positions, be very careful with your comments because they can be heard by the gallery. One comment I just heard a little bit ago, well, after somebody was speaking, was maybe they should pay attention. That came from this side of the room. Let me tell you, young lady, this full room right here means people are paying attention. Are any other trustee meetings like this? I doubt it. I've been to a few. I know. They are paying attention. Just so you know. The other question is, now that all of this has been said, are you still going through with everything since you had this meeting on Thursday at noon and everything is everybody wasting their breath? What exactly is the next step? Could somebody answer that for me?
It's under a trial period now.
So it's going forward, no matter what the contingency, what the people are saying that elected you all? Thanks for trying, Chris. Thanks for trying. But no matter what, I bet you the meeting notice was probably about 24 hours, because that's all that's legally required, I believe. 24 hours, right? Am I right, Tricka, on that?
For a special meeting, it is 24 hours.
So
But
it wasn't in the paper?
Well, I don't know when the meeting notice was. I don't have any of that information in front of me.
And who put the
papers
job
are-
description together? Mr. Strazo?
Yes, he did.
Okay.
Chief Strazo, thank you, Kim.
You're Mr. Strazo to me, you're not my chief. And I'll tell you why in this statement. My home is at 501 Topaz Lane for over 20 years. My home is where we raised our daughter to get back to the community. And long ago, when there was township collaboration and we were all one, she was almost at every single event, by my side, doing what we could do to make our community a better place. My home is where the emergency response vehicles came to tend to my husband. And when the chief pulled up in his vehicle and saw me standing in the garage, he left. And I was later informed that it was because it was me and my home.
So for the audience, that is not,
Our
first of all,
home-
a fair statement.
It's an accurate statement is what it is.
No,
And
I
it
did
was
not know.
collaborated. I'm not going to argue with you, Mr. Strazo.
Okay, Kim.
It was collaborated.
Give me a minute to respond to your statement.
It's not necessary. Thank you.
Can you hold your statement until
Yeah,
she's done?
it's not
Thank you.
necessary.
Okay.
My home is where campaign materials during a trustee election were distributed illegally, and nothing was done about it. My home is where our police association have flooded my doorstep with assistance in helping others. My home is where firefighters past and present have asked why they're being told that I hate the department. My home is where our service department has been extremely responsive to questions about flooding and any other concerns we've had over the years. My home is where I receive text, calls, and mail from frustrated residents, past and present township employees, hoping that although I'm not a trustee, I can help them make the change that they want to see and come up with solutions for a better township. My home, that's where I want to pack up and leave tomorrow because I'm so exhausted from fighting for what this community deserves. My home that repeatedly displays levy and candidate signs because part of our township has to fight for everything that they need. And change was so desperately needed in our leadership for years. My home, where I sat crying last night and told my husband I was tired of fighting for our family and for our community. His reply was, "We'll stop fighting for our community." How does one do that? How does one keep combating the manipulation that continues and those that fall under it? How does one turn a blind eye to political and personal agendas that are destroying relationships between departments and the faith in our leadership in this community to do the right thing? This is our home. This isn't my home. This is our home. Your home. This is our home where we've created wedges. Wedges have been driven between departments, making even community events and outreach opportunities a competition instead of a collaboration. This is our home, where past elected officials held weekly backroom meetings to conduct businesses off the books. And we've been promised no more. And we've been promised total transparency. This is our home, where I will continue to fight, inform, and hopefully encourage others to do what's best, not for individuals, but for our community as a whole. This is our home, where we'd like to remind the elected officials that they, and only them, are the decision makers. Remember, there's a sunshine law in place for a reason. None of those backroom meetings, private conversations that affect us all, transparency as promised. This is our home, where we somehow need to remove the personal agendas, manipulation, and divisiveness, and that wedge that keeps us all departments, all leadership, and residents from working together so we can move forward for a better future for our community, which we so richly deserve and desire. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm just going to take a brief minute to respond to Ms. Bublik's comments regarding me.
Why don't you do it officially?
Well, the microphone's good.
Okay.
Allegedly passing by her house or whatever that accusation was. I believe, if I recall, that incident was probably over 7 years ago, early on in my tenure as chief. That day, I had another firefighter that we were out conducting some business in the township. There was a call at her residence. At the time, I did not know that was her residence. Our ambulance responded. There were already 2 paramedics on scene. I pulled up, dropping the 3rd paramedic off for that crew, and went on to continue the business that I was conducting with full confidence that 3 highly qualified paramedics could take care of whatever situation was going on in that house. I did not see Miss Bublik. I did not know that was her residence. It would have been the same with any other call. The fact that she had seen me pull up, I didn't see her, and that's all I have nothing else to say. The men and women of our department can verify that I routinely respond to calls for service, and if I'm needed, I'm needed. But that day, there were 3 highly qualified paramedics that responded to that call to tend to her family member.
Is there any further public comment? Please step up and state your name and address.
Chris Price, 2700 Plum Creek. I have an issue with the doing away of the zoning. I think in the current state of our country, we have a gross overreach of our government. Gross overreach. And I'm personal friends with at least 3 small businesses that I'm not going to mention publicly because they're afraid of retaliation from the fire department. They've been harassed by Matt Payne and Chief Straza over the course of the last at least year that I can speak of right now, of ridiculous amounts of stuff. Small businesses that are trying to help their families, help neighbors around them, help the community, that are there to help with anything, heavy equipment, whatever you want. Those people would be there to help anybody in this community. And I have personally witnessed the harassment and the tyrannical overreach these 2 have put on. And they're on the DROP program, and they work on multiple and other departments and different positions. So between working with other departments and being part-time police officers and everything else, how are they going to handle this? And I'd like to ask the chief, how long ago did you start writing this position up? With that, I'm done. Thank you.
Is there any other public comment? Please step forward.
My name is James Justice, 4404 Kingsbury Road. We own Architectural Justice on one end of Brunswick Hills, and we're putting in a vineyard on the other end. We've been in the township for over 30 years now. And I heard there was a change in zoning, and I've been wanting to come in and talk. First of all, I want to congratulate Evelyn. I've worked with her for the 22 years she's been here. She's worked very hard for the township, and hope she has a great retirement. I'm willing to keep an open mind with what you guys are doing. But what I would like to see, and I know my business on the south end needs improvement, but when you see how bad it looks down 42, to tell you the truth, I've been looking for a property to move Architectural Justice out, just because of, it just does not, it looks terrible. Our customers coming in, from different directions. Pearl Road is awful, through Sleepy Hollow, all through there. So no matter what you guys decide, I feel like the zoning needs to really come down and fix. There's other communities that that do not look that bad. And we're just investing so much money in Brunswick Hills, and we have faith. It's a great community and a great location. It's just it just doesn't seem like zoning, has been enforcing, a lot of the laws through up and down Pearl. So, and I know Anthony, I've always been treated fairly with Anthony. I don't really know him that well, or the department, and I have not done the research on the zoning position, but I'm willing to keep an open mind. I do see that there could be some synergies there on the inspections, when they do the fire inspections, to also try to look around and see other things that, you know, cleaning up Pearl Road and making it look better. You know, just to see any improvement at all, you know, we would take more pride in our business and get our curb appeal looking better there also. So that's really all I had to say is it's time to clean up our Pearl Road and make it look, you know, we just need improvement. So whatever that takes, you know, I feel like, you know, it might be worth giving a try, something new. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any more public input?
Me. Excuse me. Somebody else, go ahead, last.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
West Humphrey, 451 Substation Road. I had the same reaction at first, and I went and I read over the document. And from what I understand, the newer position is paid by two different departments. Is that correct?
Say again, Wes, I'm sorry?
It's like two different, one person would maybe work two different departments?
That is correct.
Right. But the assistant code enforcer, the job duties are basically almost the same, it's just a change of title, is that correct? All right. And that's what, and I had to put my listening ears on, you know, and think it through and think it through. And it's got to be, there's a time period of, by the end of the year, it's got to be 100%, and then next year would be the trial period. If it don't work out, it don't work out. If it works out, to expedite permits and to make sure everybody's on the same page, that's a good thing. I believe that. But I'll be optimistic, and if there's bumps in the road, try to fix them by the end of next year, if it goes through. Thank you.
Thank you, Wes.
Thank you.
I just have two more questions.
Hold on, let me go back to my Tony Destro.
Okay. Tony Destro, 301 Marks Road. I have just two questions. First one is there a possibility that your decision to eliminate the zoning office and put the fire department in charge of zoning, is there a way to reverse that decision? Is that possible? If you have, maybe if the township, how many people would you need to come in and tell you this is a bad idea, we don't like it? Or is there a way you guys can put it up to the township? Or is this already a done deal, set in stone, no change in it, it's only up to you two?
Well, legally, I mean, it could be reversed.
What's the process to do that?
We would discuss it and, you know, decide what to go from there as a board.
So there'll be no discussion after this, though, tonight after?
Oh,
what
no,
you've heard?
no.
Okay.
Is there a way to set up a special meeting with the township, the people of the township, to hear all of the concerns? Not so much as like tonight, but special for just that?
That's up to the board.
I didn't hear you.
I mean, that would be up to the board decision. I think you guys gave us a lot of information tonight to review and consider.
When can we check back with you to see what you've decided?
Next meeting in 2 weeks?
Yeah, 2 weeks is fine.
2 weeks, you guys, do you think you'll look it over, and is there a chance that you guys might overturn this decision?
Mr. Nestor, it's a little early to speak to that, considering we're still going to hear more from residents.
Right.
Okay. And my second question was, Anthony didn't answer it. When did you start that job description? Right in the job description for the code enforcement?
I couldn't give you any idea on that, Tony.
Ish.
You know what? I've been so bogged down with public records requests that I really haven't been keeping track.
So how are you going to take care of zoning then?
Yeah.
So,
You're pretty sharp. I think you do remember.
So, Tony, are you done? I don't want to interrupt you. So I think we need to, like, really clear the air on the way it's designed or was proposed and the benefits and the thought that was put into it. Because none of you know that, right? No, you don't. You don't. So the thought process is that fiscally, it's a responsible thing to do. Because first of all, the township, as far as, and Linda brought this up last night, we have an aging community with limited resources. I think we can all agree on that, right? Nobody wants to see their taxes go up. But we have a demand for services, whether it's fire prevention services, zoning services, police services, road services, right? So the position and the thought process behind the position is that we need to have time to deal with zoning issues and fire issues, and zoning only has about 20 hours a week that they are actually staffed, correct. You're exactly right. It is exactly a problem, because only between roughly 10 and 2 or noon and 4 is there someone in the office to address issues. Same thing on the fire side. There is only a person available approximately 20 hours a week to respond to residents regarding fire prevention issues. That includes education and what have you. Now, when a resident calls at 8 a.m. in the morning to ask a question about zoning, there's nobody there to answer the phone. And they call back at somewhere between 11 and 12, or 11 in the end of the day, when most people are at work. Our thought process is we'll have a full-time person that can deal with both zoning and fire and be here Monday through Friday from 8 to 4 or 8 to 4:30. They can answer the phone and answer questions regarding either situation, whether it's fire prevention or zoning. We did have a Zoom meeting with the code enforcement officer from that Hamilton Township. He explained how it works, and he has had great results with it. Our Fire Prevention Bureau is in every commercial business approximately every 12 to 14 months. We do an inspection. We see not only fire code violations, we see building code violations, which we refer to the building department. We see health department or health code violations, which are referred to the health department. We see zoning violations, which we refer to the zoning department. It is actually in the Ohio Fire Code that it is our responsibility to identify code violations and refer them to an authority for enforcement. We do that consistently. You heard from people tonight that have pending violations of not only fire code, the health department code, and building code speak against us. I don't necessarily think that this is a issue of whether this could work. It is new, it is scary, just like anything else. But I will tell you this, there's been a lot of thought put into this. It's not something that was just thrown out on a whim. As far as there's people in this room that have questioned my integrity, I have done in 10 and a half years nothing but commit myself to being the fire chief of this township. I only have to be here 20 hours a week. I average somewhere between 200 and 300 extra hours of work for this township every year. I don't get paid any extra for it. With the addition of the zoning, I wouldn't get any extra pay. So ask yourselves, what's the benefit? Well, the benefit that I see is that it's better service to all of you for processing your applications, ensuring that they are meet what the application needs to come before the zoning commission or the BZA. Historically, there's been a lot of issues with that. People come before the zoning commission, and the zoning commission has to turn them away. They're wasting their own time before they get there. Same with the BZA. We want to change that. We want to turn that around. We want to be a customer service, professional zoning department where we can take a resident or a business that comes in, provide them the proper guidance to get things done, to make the community better. That is the goal of this new structure or restructuring.
To add to that as well, Mr. Justice, you brought up a very interesting point, and I think I'd like to speak to the business owners here in the township as well. This program also provides you, as the business owner, a singular point of contact for all of your needs. There's no going over here, then going over here, or driving here, and then having to come back between 9 and 2 on a random Thursday. Your point person is going to handle you through all of the zoning issues, all of the fire prevention issues.
Can I ask what zoning experience this person has?
Yes, and I'm going to answer that in just one moment. Anthony brought up an interesting topic tonight as well. And it was a lot of people calling into account his character and how it reflects into this program that we're instating. So, Anthony, I'd like to ask you, how much of a raise did we give you for this?
0.
And how many additional hours are we allotting you to work while we're paying you for those hours?
Well, 0.
0 for this program. In addition to that, how many of your own personal hours are you going to have to put in so that you're up to speed with everything that's going on?
Well, I can tell you, Sunday, while I was sitting at home with my family, I was reading the Ohio Revised Code, Chapter 519.
Mm-hmm. It's also been brought to my attention through comments, etc., that people feel that this gives the fire department, specifically Anthony, somehow more power in the township over this.
It does.
And
No,
so
it absolutely does
And so,
not.
Anthony, I'd like to ask you, when somebody comes in to drop something off for the new code enforcement division, what say do you have on that paperwork?
No say. It's dictated by the zoning resolution.
Exactly. Will you veto anything?
No, we make sure that the paperwork follows the zoning resolution.
Exactly.
I think the guy on Cheney Road might disagree.
I'm sorry?
I think the guy here on Cheney Road might disagree.
Well, he's currently dealing with issues, both zoning, fire code, health code, and building code. I don't make the building code. I don't make the health code. I don't. No, actually.
Why didn't you call me? That's already malfeasance in office, and he's not even in office yet.
Are you going to allow me to answer the question, ma'am? Are you going to allow me to answer the question? So there are benefits to ensuring that our zoning resolution is followed. And like I said, we have a fire code. I don't make the fire code. We have a fire prevention officer that enforces it. We have a zoning resolution. The zoning inspector enforces the zoning resolution. Just like the police department doesn't make the Ohio Revised Code. They enforce the Ohio Revised Code. Hang on, please, let me finish. I didn't interrupt you. All of you folks are citizens. You have the ability to affect what's in all of those documents. What's in the zoning code, what's in the fire code, what's in the Ohio Revised Code. It is unfair to the rest of the people that may support that and pass that we don't enforce it, that we pick and choose what we want to enforce or not enforce or follow through. Why should one resident follow the rules and follow the process, whether it's zoning or fire code related, while another resident does not? That's not fair to the people that follow the law. Also, when we ensure that the zoning resolution is followed, it has a tax effect upon all of you, meaning property values increase, which actually decreases somewhat because everybody then takes a larger portion of what the tax burden is. So it actually decreases the amount that you have to pay because we hold everybody accountable to that standard. I know it's scary. I know something new is always scary. But this is done with the township and its residents at the forefront of our concern.
This was done in the dark. This was done in the dark, and it should be put out into the light, so everybody can decide. Exactly.
Yeah, I just have one more thing. Just to be straight, I have some fire violations left over, but I had those all settled a few weeks ago. When he came out to recheck something, he brought me a whole nother list of inspections. That's, I think, the fourth time they've came out to re-inspect and then brought more stuff. So I'm working on it. It'll be done next Monday or Tuesday, whenever he comes out. I don't have any building code violations, and I don't have any sanitary violations. And the zoning violations, those are being taken care of with a lawyer because a lot of them were for a residential property and mine's commercial. So I had to hire a lawyer to help me take care of that at great expense. Thank you. I'm aware.
So he admits he has violations.
Yeah.
Frank Chia, former and retired fire chief from Brunswick Hills. Anthony took over for me. Mr. Ryan, you asked him how much money he earned by doing his proposals and how much money he earns when he's at home. Well, I did the same job for half the money he's getting, and I worked my ass off too, okay? And I really disagree with the fire department handling the zoning. And I've been a resident here for 35 years. And I think the Board of Trustees need to change that and give it back to the zoning department. You guys were elected to make sure that this township ran properly. And as far as I'm concerned, as a former fire chief and as a township resident, you did not do that right. You two are both wrong. Thank you.
Can you please restate your name?
Chris Price, 2700 Plum Creek, for the second time. I'll try to be a little calmer this time. As with anything, follow the money. Again, I brought up that they're part-time police officers, part-time fire chief in another department, part-time fire prevention officer here, part-time in another department. They're also on the drop program. So they're collecting salary from there, and now you're going to create another position for them to collect more of our money. That's just going to give us more hassles getting things passed, getting things done because of the outreach that they've had. And that's all I have to say. I just wanted to bring that up. Follow the money.
Linda Hudson, 314 Pearl Road, Brunswick Hills. Don't want to get too far off track, and of course, it sounds like that there are lots of issues that are going on here. My observations have been, as the land use plan, as we have started the comprehensive plan, that we must focus directly on that for the future of Brunswick Hills. Anthony just mentioned that code enforcement for the fire is taken care of by the fire department. He even stated that zoning issues should be handled by the zoning inspector. Maybe he misspoke, maybe he didn't intend to say that, but that is exactly what he said. Now, the zoning inspector has the authority to enforce those. Maybe our zoning office has not been prepared or ready to do that. Anyone here in this, we should have a tour of the zoning office. The files are all antiquated. None of them are on a computer. There is no access to those other than going through each individual file. Mike Ruby, when he was the zoning inspector, did his very best to try to keep those under control. I've been out of the loop here for a while, but I've experienced it, personally in seeing the disarray. No one returns phone calls, no one returns emails. It is very difficult for anyone to come through the process. Thomas made it very clear. I think that you all have tasked his board. There is an extreme conflict with the zoning resolution for this position. There's no need for this type of code enforcement. We have the ability to enforce it, do it. Okay, hire a person who is very qualified with building and zoning. Give them the tools that they need. If they go to court and testify, they're going to ask you, what kind of experience do you have? Oh, I'm the fire person that's in charge of the zoning office up there in Brunswick Hills. No, you want to be the zoning inspector that enforces the zoning resolution that these people put in place. I have every confidence that the zoning commission is doing their very best to follow your instructions. You told them to update the zoning resolution. You told them to get a comprehensive plan. We just paid. How much did we pay for our new planning person to do this? And if we do not follow the advice nor listen to the residents in any of this, something is not right. Please reconsider your decision and move in the right direction so that we can attract business here in the community, so that we can retain business here in the community. I'm so excited to see Architectural Justice up on the Hill. They're doing a wonderful job. We used to be the playground of the rich and famous out of Cuyahoga County. And I don't want to sound old, but they used to come here for entertainment. They used to come here. There was little hotels along Pearl Road. It was a wonderful area in which people spent money. Now we're a stopover because we can't get the interchange for Boston Road. People aren't going to come up here from Medina County. They're not going to come here from Cuyahoga County. They try to pass us really quickly on I-71. You know, whatever you do, don't get off in Brunswick. And how does that affect Brunswick and Brunswick Hills? We're losing thousands of dollars through the businesses. It gives us no opportunity for the small business to make any kind of money. And we're hand-tied. And why are we hand-tied? Our zoning office is antiquated. Please look into a full-time zoning inspector that we, as residents, business owners, commercial people, don't care who it is, can come into that office and say, hi, I'd like to take a look at my file. I'm thinking about doing some renovations. Hey, I want to put a swimming pool in my backyard. What exactly do I need to do? And there should be a set time frame. And Thomas had a good idea. This has to be on the website. It has to be monitored. Does the fire department have the ability to set and spend hours? And I'm going to use an example. Take one of the files in there and start scanning it in electronically. Do you know how long it would take to scan in the documents in that office alone? A year? 2 years? Are we going to sit and wait? I don't think we have the time. Thank you.
Ms. Hudson, I got a question for you. What, you talked about experience and zoning or and the familiarity. What, in your opinion, how many years experience should should someone have for that position?
Mike Ruby had over 20 years. Some of the positions, I think that can be determined by the board by simply looking at, and of course I hate to say it, Google. If you Google the positions, I added a sheet. It'll give you some pretty specific information there as to what kind of person that you need or what kind of qualifications that they should have. I highly recommend a highly trained person. Ours is very complex, and there's no two ways about it. You'll see, ask around at your local townships that are contiguous to us. It is very difficult to find a person that is going to be qualified for that, but I think it is well worth the time and the money. It will, in the end, give us the opportunity to save some of the township, offer the businesses a clear and concise path on how to obtain. Nobody wants to sit for 6, 8, 10, 12 months waiting for a permit to be approved or disapproved. It should be as simple as, I'm coming into the zoning office. If I meet the criteria, here's your permit. If I don't meet the criteria, that zoning inspector is going to say, I'm sorry, you don't meet the criteria for it, you need to file for a variance, you go before the zoning commission. If you don't get resolution at the zoning commission, you're gonna go to the Board of Appeals. And the Board of Appeals may affirm it, deny it. If they deny it, you're headed to the Medina County court system. And everyone knows, why do we want to send our businesses to the Medina County court system when we could have resolved this with an experienced zoning inspector? He can give you, or she can give you, the path that you need to follow. And it should be done in a timely manner. I sat here and I looked and I watched at these meetings, and I had no fish to fry. It's just an observation. I can't believe how many of these business owners are having to wait over a year for a decision, and then they're not quite sure which path that they're taking. I've seen 2 properties be referred to the Zoning Board of Appeals for site plan review. Now, the Board of Appeals is a quasi-judicial board. That board, you have to meet certain criteria. The Duncan factors have to be taken into consideration. If you don't meet the Duncan factors, and if you don't have a really good argument, you're going to fail there, and you're going to go down to the county. Now, you need to have that path very clear and concise. We've discussed it at the zoning commission. Thomas has researched it, and he has found the same issues that I've argued. Now, I just want to say, ditto, Thomas. Okay, go get him. But at the same time, I think we need to be realistic. The zoning inspector's office is a very coveted office. It needs to be filled with a person that has extremely good qualifications. We want to encourage people to be here in the community. We want them to stay in the community. We want to retain the businesses as well as recruit the businesses. It has nothing to do with personal agendas. It has nothing to do. If a person has a violation, 9 times out of 10, that person, Mike Ruby, he'd come to me and he'd say, Linda, hey, you're not doing quite right. I'd say, okay, Mike, what do I need to do? And he would give me a clear and concise path and say, correct these zoning violations, you got 30 days to do it. Hey, get it done. And it would be done. So we need to have that. We need to have that transparency. We need to make everyone comfortable in the decision that, hey, I'm starting a business in Brunswick Hills. Gosh, I'm going to build a house in Brunswick Hills. I don't want to see the house built on open space, which we've kind of incurred in the past. Don't want to see those things happen. A defunct homeowners association because we didn't have a clear and concise path on how to do that. Now, we've seen that happen. Don't let it happen again. Please, please, please reconsider the position. Yes, we know we need somebody right away, but I'm sure that Wes is very competent as an inspector, and he can hold the fort down until we get that advertised and get a person in here that really needs to know how to do this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chief, do you happen to have Mr. Payne's bio?
I can tell you that he has experience in both zoning and BZA. He served on the BZA, or one, he served for 2 years, the other, I believe, 12. So he has 14 years.
So 14 years plus already. Okay.
But not here, right?
Correct.
Not in Brunswick Hills.
Correct.
I gotta say something really quick. I've lived in
I'm sorry,
Brunswick.
can you please state your name and
Robin
address?
Gillespie, 4980 Grafton Road, Brunswick, Ohio. And I didn't speak out to slam the fire department, the police department, or whoever. I love the fire department. My son had a basketball accident, and he caught the net, and he slammed on his wrist and crumbled these bones and broke this bone. They had to have a pin. We called 911. He's at a park in Brunswick. How many parks are in Brunswick? What park in Brunswick? We finally figured out where he was, and one of his assistants, Billy Hudson, dropped him off, and he was there, and he gave him an IV, took him to the emergency room. He had 3 surgeries. I love the fact that when you call the fire department, they come. When they call the police department, they come. We need to have the enemies, the sections, by themselves. We need to have, so when somebody needs the fire department, they're there. The police department, whoever. And I know you guys need zoning for everything too, but that was my thing. I wasn't slamming anybody as far as you're lousy or whatever. We need them to stay in their own lane, is basically it.
And just a point of clarification, none of our firefighters are going to be inspectors for zoning. That's not the position at all. So let's be very clear on that. The fellas that arrive on your ambulance or on your fire trucks are not going to be conducting zoning inspections or zoning work at all.
I'm Mary Destro, 4776 Baywood. I've heard a lot of Matthew's name coming up, and it sounds like that's the candidate you guys are looking at to hire for this position. Is that correct?
I'm not sure what applications have been received yet.
Well, just from hearing what she had said, if he's, as a taxpayer, I didn't realize it was their job to walk around to different businesses, houses, to find people to talk against another business. To me, that's very unprofessional. I'm paying taxes. I don't, if that's in their job description, I never recognized that. So if he's a candidate for this position, it doesn't seem like he's the best one. I don't know his qualifications, maybe that fit, but just from that knowledge, I did not know that till today. And for him going to the other neighbors, that to me is very unprofessional and kind of sneaky. I wouldn't expect that from leaders in the community to be doing that. I would expect them to be encouraging and building up businesses, building up residents, and helping them instead of finding people to go against. So to me, that name keeps coming up, and it's just very shocking that that's a candidate that you're looking for that would do that to another community member who they should be leading and representing and helping. That's it.
Thank you.
Catherine Esper, 4728 Forest Grove. I just want to say kudos to the board for going in another direction. I think our zoning department has been lacking for many years. There's been a lot of mistakes being made. I've pointed out a few of them to the former zoning inspector, and I welcome this new position. I think it's a positive direction for the township, and my taxpayer dollars, I think, will be well spent on a new position and a new zoning department. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hurry.
No. I think I'm done.
Once again, Dave Goodyear, 691 Pearl Road. I've got two things to say. I'm not going to say anything more but what I said before. Two things, though. First of all, some guy named Matt Payne I've heard about all evening, and I understand some of you don't care for the kid, but I know a Matt Payne who grew up in town. I love him like a kid. And what he does professionally, well, as a professional, as a fireman, he's automatically good. But his personality is tops. Now, once again, how he handles himself out in the field, Matt is a tremendous kid. And yeah, I'm not related to him, but it might as well be. Love him like one of my own. But anyway, that's the first thing. Second of all, with Evelyn gone, she's been here so long and worked with so many of us, previous boards, present boards, police, fire. I happen to know a spot in town where we can have a retirement party for her, bigger than this room, and all we have to do is get somebody to head it up. I will not. Well, you don't think I can throw parties anymore? I will not head it up, but it's there, and there won't be any cost. I'll pay the bill. Okay, so just whoever's interested in it, get a hold of me. My number's in the book, not in the computer. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ron Wetterman, 1085 Substation Road. I do have a small question concerning the zoning office itself. Are the facilities going to remain here in this building until our new complex is built, or is it going to be in some office at the fire station?
Right here.
Thank you.
Any other public input? Okay, seeing none. I will note that we will be having an executive session for the BWC matter. And then it is 9:16 PM, and I move to go off camera for the purposes of signing of warrants and purchase orders and for the executive session.
I will second.
Chris? Yes. Trigger?
Yeah.
Yes.
Ryan?
Yes.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.